with like virtual reality, we can create like cinematic experiences that are interactive, right? What does it mean to create something that doesn't just only stay as one static thing? Because that's also a film, right? A film is something that you make once and you clip at the end and it's done and the credits and you roll and it's finished. And you can talk about it and it'll have reverberating effects, but the thing itself is there. Whereas like with a virtual experience, it can sort of it can shape itself. Facebook isn't the same as what it was a few years, you know. So with a virtual platform or an immersive experience, it's shaped more by the user's input as well. I'm gonna find this very interesting as a storyteller as well. So that's the idea with that. You know, and I'm still in the early stages of what that development looks like. But the thing, and as is always very often the case with, I think, earnest research, in going about the reading and the absorbing of information, the actual inquiry into our sort of indigenous practices, right? And why I was interested in spatial practice is because, you know, the Netherlands is a place where it's famous for architecture and how they like their innovations in use of space to solve problems, right? And I'm interested in this as a communicator because communication is a problem-solving endeavor. It's a design function, right? So it led me to think a lot about how we use space as a culture, right, for different purposes. How do we, in particular, move around, right, from point A to point B? What did that look like before, like pre-colonization, right, during colonization, and now, and what are the linkages, and what are we potentially missing? Like my ultimate thesis is that the way that a society circulates, right, the way that people are designed to move around has a direct impact on your productivity and your your individual and collective actualization. Okay. So how a transportation system serves the interests and desires of a people, right? And this is a question that I've begun to think a lot about in St. Kitts because of this research, right? So how are we situating ourselves and our spaces, our roadways, you know, or just transportation system in general, and how does that service our needs? Are we doing that well enough? And there's a lot that I have to say about that.
Yes, I can imagine. But it's very interesting because it's not really something that I'd thought about before, but it often comes up actually in terms of just recently I was having a conversation with someone about public transport systems in different parts of the Caribbean. And you know, we're talking about some islands that don't have a public transportation system, others that do, but they only go to certain parts of the island, others that do, but they go to all. And then if you look at that same, if you kind of now turn your gaze back and look at our colonial and then post-colonial structures and systems, you'll understand why the roadworks are built this way. You'll understand why there's public transport or there isn't, and why it goes to a place that it doesn't.